Do you live in a world filled with corporate data? Are you plagued by siloed departments? Are your lackluster growth strategies demolishing your chances for success? Are you held captive by the evil menace, Lord Lack? Lack of time, lack of strategy, and lack of the most important and powerful tool in your superhero tool belt, knowledge. Never fear, HubHeroes. Get ready to don your cape and mask, move into action, and become the Hub Hero your organization needs. Tune in each week to join the League of Extraordinary Inbound Heroes as we help you educate, empower, and execute. HubHeroes, it's time to unite and activate your powers.
We're back, gentlemen.
That was the best transition you've ever done, George.
You like that?
I mean, even when you know it's coming somewhere, it still always gets you by surprise, and that was particularly good.
I do what I can. I do it. I'm refreshed from vacation,
Yes.
So that was that
On
good
point.
intro there for you.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, the gang is all back together again, folks. How are we feeling? George, you
Great.
still have vacation brain, or are you dialed in?
I still have vacation brain.
Yeah, I'm trying to get dialed in. It's I got back, Liz, and there was 47 HubSpot updates. There's about 4,700 emails. And so I'm trying to get dialed in. I feel like Monday is like, let's ease my way into trying to like figure out what HubSpot did in a week while I was gone, what all the people in my email need now that I'm back, yet also create some content because before this I was on the Customer Platform Podcast, and we're doing this podcast, and I have 2 Women of HubSpot interviews I'm doing today. So it's a content-rich day, but also a helping human. I better be dialed in, I guess. My answer is, Liz, I'm officially dialed in.
Well, good news. We are easing you in with a super simple, lightweight, very frill-free conversation.
I saw the notes.
Because see, when you left, Chad showed up and said, I want to talk about nerd stuff today.
Yeah.
I want to talk about nerdy Commerce Hub stuff today. But before we get into that, George, let's pop quiz for a second.
Uh-oh.
Let's dust off the little dust bunnies from vacation. Can you give the listeners at home a quick recap of what Commerce Hub is in case they are unfamiliar with the platform?
A little recap is kind of difficult because what Commerce Hub used to be to what Commerce Hub is now is like dramatically different. But I'll simplify the complex in saying Commerce Hub is a way for you to get paid, and there's multiple ways that you can get paid. So when I think of Commerce Hub, I think of quoting, I think of invoicing, I think of payment links, I think of subscriptions. So these are like the terminology of things that would be in there. But for me, if I really just go high level, it's a godsend because our business runs completely on Commerce Hub, meaning the whole CPQ, the whole getting people to book for super admin training, like everything that touches money is Commerce Hub. And what's nice is we literally have our accountants in there as well. And so like they can see things and there's integrations and like it just, again, godsend, and think of anything that touches money or getting paid. That's Commerce Hub.
Chad, did he miss anything in his love letter to Commerce Hub?
I mean, I think that's a great way to put it. There's a whole bunch of different mechanisms. We can go into detail in any of those types of things, but really a lot of the stuff that's been updated recently has been back-end changes and the ability to do things that you used to not be able to do, but still with some limitations. Commerce Hub has always been like, unless you're just going to use HubSpot and be okay with HubSpot and everything that it currently has, it used to be 100% like, that's good. Okay, I can work with Commerce Hub. But if I want to connect to any external system, it was just like a giant nightmare. Yeah. And like, there are still some limitations that make you have to take design considerations, right? But it's a lot better than it used to be. And I'm really, really interested in Max's take on all this as well when we get to subscriptions, especially.
Yeah. Can concur. I don't know if I have anything additional to add beyond what George and Chad said. But what I will say is it's an exciting time with cash flow joining the fray and injecting a completely different perspective on commerce and the backend engine that makes it all run. So
when I think part of that's going to be a RevRec engine that's going to be a little better across all your stuff. And that's one thing that people have a hard time with in Commerce Hub.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing some really cool stuff in the next coming months. So, I mean, we already are seeing little bits and boops here and there, right?
Yeah.
But,
Bebop boops coming.
Beep boops.
Speaking of incoming beep bops and beep boops, Chad, you already started digging into this a little bit, but I want to ask you directly. You had a number of updates that you wanted to specifically talk about today with HubSpot Commerce Hub. And we may have more on that list that we expand with, but what makes you excited overall about some of the things that we're going to be discussing today?
I mean, I just think that, overall, I get really excited about the fact that it's no longer just again, design considerations need to be taken into account with what's allowed and not allowed. But it's not just it only works if your source of truth is HubSpot anymore. Like, you can actually start to come in and, they're truly trying to make payments like a first class object, if we call it that way, or like not a second class object, right? And someday they'll do that with quotes. They're not there yet, but it's very, very exciting to see. I mean, just like Max was saying, it's an exciting time to be alive, right? When it comes to all that we can do in the realm of Commerce Hub and money and transferring. And I mean, there's really cool stuff you can do. You can associate subscriptions to objects they never were originally going to be associated to before, like custom objects now, which is really cool.
Oh, is that out?
Yeah. At least I was able to add it one time I was looking at, which is pretty dope. You can't do it with payments yet. I had a bone to pick with a friend of mine over at Commerce Hub about that, but they said it's on the roadmap. But man, all the stuff that's been on the roadmap is finally getting off the roadmap and into beta or into production, which is amazing.
Phenomenal. All right, so let's dig in. We're starting with HubSpot payments, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the payment right API is huge. And I think the ability for you to just hit from an external system with the API, generate a payment and associate it to invoices, quotes, deals, basically all the commerce objects. You're still limited to what you can associate it to, which is one of my gripes as it currently sits. And there's when you associate a payment to, say, an invoice, it locks you from editing some invoice properties. And unfortunately, custom properties are still not on the list of properties you can update while an invoice is partially paid. But I do have it on good authority that may change at some point. And they ultimately really want to let you edit invoices whenever you want, just like other accounting platforms like QuickBooks, right? You can just edit an invoice in QuickBooks and add line items, let's say, or an estimate or whatever, right? You can just update it and then show, okay, hey, this is a lot. And I came really originally from the construction industry. And one of the things that's huge there is I need to be able to have a partially paid invoice, but also add a scope of work so that my customer truly understands the total amount, including a line for a change order or something like that. But right now with Commerce Hub, if you want to do that, even still, you have to create a new invoice for every payment that you really want to bring in, right? And not everybody in the construction industry likes to do it that way. They like to have one running invoice and you sign another quote and it updates an existing invoice, for example, with another line item. But all that to say, being able to laser in a payment from an external system, and now, of course, it's already been out for a while. You can create invoices with an API call. You can now create a back-end integration with some kind of other system and make what's in that other system reflect in HubSpot against your deals. So if you're mapping contacts, companies, for contacts and customer, whatever, and then you're doing deals for all of your sales or your projects or whatever kind of system you're using, you can actually make all of the line items and everything reflect, which is amazing. You've never been able to do that before when it comes without manual effort.
And I'll throw one thing in here. Because I've been hanging out with my friend Chris Carolyn for a while. You mentioned deals, Chad. I'll even mention in a world where you live in orders instead of deals, right? And so this idea of living in a world of orders and living in a world of an external system to be able to put these things in place, because that's the thing I was hoping that you would get to, is like external systems to then push it into HubSpot, because I already use HubSpot payments, but I use HubSpot payments in HubSpot. And so I think that's a big differentiator that the listeners/viewers should be understanding it. If I have this thing over here, and I've always dreamed that it could interact with line items and invoices when somebody places an order or when sales closes a deal, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And being able to like bring in those line items is like a thing. Like, you know, we'll get to other stuff here, but I'll let you go, Max. But this is awesome.
So, and just to like clarify it, so it's not transferring funds into your HubSpot payment account that then goes to your bank account. It's simply just showing the record. Right?
Yes, it's creating the payment object record. Yep.
Got it.
And so you're now able to do that. There is not a way at this point to generate, like, obviously a charge a card via API or anything like that. Yeah. Right.
This is more so like a reporting thing.
But it's huge being able to align some external system. Like, let's say you have a big ERP, some custom thing at your company. Well, now HubSpot's a viable option to actually show your revenue recognition and what line items were sold, so that your friggin' support team actually knows what in the holy heck was in the order or was invoiced.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing for me, like, I think this was like this and subscriptions. Subscriptions. Can you write subscriptions yet?
Yeah, dog.
Okay. So
and they got them line items, dude. Like they got them line items.
They got them line items.
They got them line items. So the other thing
right over there.
Line items. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is like I feel like that was the last two big missing pieces of the puzzle for HubSpot to be the ultimate final tech stack for a SaaS company. Right?
Exactly.
Because think about it, we had all these awesome marketing, sales, and service tools, but like the thing is, most of those SaaS products, you're not sending someone money on a HubSpot quote to go activate your app. They've got it hooked up to Stripe,
or something. Right.
They've got their back end system where someone logs into the back end, goes into the settings, and pays with the credit card. Right. Yeah. But now you could take that subscription that's generated. Send it into HubSpot
and
take those payments that
custom
are made.
Objects, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like a customer account or like some we call them app licenses. We have an app license object at Happily. Right. And so like you could take those and make them show up as HubSpot payments inside of there. Right. When people are paying in your app through like whatever custom payment system that you have set up. Right. Like I think it's fine. Like they've gone full circle now with how good Service Hub is, right? To like run your support team on it. It's a joke. It's a joke now. Like it literally has everything you need, right? And customer
it's really good.
Can make API calls to your internal system to do stuff now.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yes. With the customer agent being able to interact with your system, and you can fire off an API call to query something in the middle of a live chat. Like that's insane. Dude, that's also another thing.
It's officially, to me, it officially has everything a SaaS company needs.
Well,
I think so.
And here's the thing. I know this is not why we're here, but I want to throw this in because Max, you literally said help desk this morning. There were 6 different unique updates to help desk. So like,
can't wait to go through every single one of them on the live show.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sweet.
It's exciting.
Phenomenal. I'm excited. I understood 60%, I think, of what was just discussed, but that's because I'm a content nerd. You'll find me in the Content Marketing Hub. But Chad, tell us where we're going next. What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, one more thing I forgot to mention. Well, I guess this is kind of, we were alluding to it, right? Is being able to generate subscriptions via API. You can mark those subscriptions via API to either send invoices or not send invoices. And so they'll be able to like actually pay for those subscriptions or whatever. And then there's there's some pretty advanced functionality. And now in the data model builder, you can actually add those subscriptions to other objects, custom objects, whatever. And that gives you line item level reporting. Like some people have done kind of what, Max and the team have done when it comes to what they're selling and keeping track of it and put it in a custom object and run associations. But realistically, you could actually use line items now to see who has what products, more or less. Like there is a world where people coming into this who don't have like legacy architectures and a bunch of custom reports built around this can actually have the information they need. And in addition to all of that good, juicy, delectable, updated goodness, they also give you the ability to add subscription custom properties, which is super amazing. So you can add any kind of property you need. It's not just the standard HubSpot subscriptions.
Yeah, it could be like what features someone has,
you could have feature flags on your subscriptions. 100%. Like in your quote, if this line item's here, generate the subscription with that feature flag. That tells your backend system, boop, or whatever after when your quote goes and then it syncs back or something like that. But you can at least make it accessible now to your support team and help desk. They know truly what subscriptions this company has, if you have multiple products or whatever. And I mean, it can be updated, it can be created, like all these things can occur now on subscriptions. There are some limitations, like I said, with invoices, with being partially paid, you kind of get locked down. But luckily subscriptions you can update over time. You can just reinitialize the subscription. So which is great.
I want to jump in here for a second because we're throwing the word line items around and products around. And this is something that I've had to teach people. So let's go back to basics. We're going to step out of Nerdville for a second, which by the way,
my question is
we're going to step outside of Nerdville to give a nuanced take on products and line items. Thanks, George.
Yeah, that's not nerdy.
First of all, products are line items and line items are products in HubSpot. They're one and the same thing. Like basically, you see what I'm saying? Like if you create a product and then you go to do a quote or do what Chad's talking about, you're basically that line item is a product that you've created in HubSpot. And so like, it's just crazy how like we have these two different names for this kind of same thing. So just know that a line item is a product and a product is a line item. But also what I want to just double click on here is for years, people have asked for line item reporting. And the fact that you're going to be able to now have line item reporting, but line item reporting based on an external system that is pushing into HubSpot. Like, so if you're sitting here and you're like, well, that's something we might want to lean into, then you're going to want to figure out how to get your products, AKA your line items in HubSpot in a way that they can be used for what Chad's talking about.
Okay, can I just clarify something really quickly? Because I think I understand this. Yeah. So a product is like the thing that globally exists in your database that can be pulled into any invoice. A line item explicitly refers to product that is listed within a specific invoice. Like that is that line item and that invoice.
Yeah. Yes. It's an instance of a product being associated to a quote.
Yep. Or invoice or yes. Yep.
It's like a product is a template, right? And you start from the template, but then you can customize it while you're formatting the subscription or you're formatting the like invoice and any of those properties that are changed on it, including custom properties, which you can put on products. And anything you put on a product is an option on a line item at that, it pushes down essentially.
Yep.
And each of those are an instance of that templated item and they refer back to the product. So like when you're doing line item level reporting, you'll know how many line items that you sold related back to that parent product. So if it's like an app license for, quote, Happily, a user or something like that, then you have 4 different invoices with like, quote, Happily user as a line item. You can sum total the number of users that you sold, right? But you know that it's related back to that product template.
Yeah. And it really does speed up things because again, you might think about, and by the way, we're now leaning into where Max is probably going to show for, who he should show for. But like you have multiple products, aka multiple line items, which means you're also creating kind of like this bundle scenario inside of, you know, your quote, your invoice, your whatever it is. So yeah.
Good luck building that bundle.
There you go. See, I served it up for you. You can do that, by the way, with quote happily. Bundling.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Chad and the nerdiness.
Max is just very modest.
Yes, typically he's the most modest on the podcast.
Hey, listen, George, you set that ad up all on your own.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I kind of did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Shilling for big popsicle.
I mean, listen, the team at Quote Happily have been killing it for like 2 of our clients who are using the product recently. And so I got to give them some love.
Yeah.
All right, back to Chad.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So the other one other thing that's really, really helpful is now not unlike the ability to have custom properties on payment or on subscriptions, you can do it on payments now. So the ability to store additional metadata about your payment, like, I mean, one thing at Roofing Business Partner that would happen all the time is we would have to create a like QBO payment custom object, because they would need to keep track of, is this like a deposit payment, like a payment that happened for material delivery, and they want to like sum total, or like, is this payment related to like a material invoice or something like that. They needed to store additional metadata so you could run calculated properties to sum total up. Like, I have a sum total of all of the deposit payments that are related to this. And then so you could take the amount invoiced, the amount received in payments, and regardless of how that payment got in there, whether it's, it manually added payment, it synced over from QBO to HubSpot using the QBO sync. It was created via HubSpot payments or created via your bring your own Stripe HubSpot payments or whatever, right? All of that functionality, then, well, it still wasn't enough because we didn't know what type of payments they were for. And so now you have the capacity to actually put in additional metadata about whatever that payment is, which allows you to create roll-up properties or different things that you might need. Really, 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 really helpful. And then people can ditch their whatever payment custom object now and free up a custom object, right? Which is great on people who have enterprise portals, which is actually like becoming more and more of a problem that I'm noticing. People are getting a lot of custom objects in their portals depending on their ambitions. And not everything really needs to be a custom object anymore, like it may have once used to be, right? True. I mean, not everything even needs to be a pipeline stage. Some of the pipeline stages people have could be properties, but that's a diatribe we could get on another day.
Not properties, they could be tasks, right? That's forever. I'm beating the drum of like deal stages or whatever stages. They are not tasks, they're milestones. No. Like, anyway,
it's a send whatever is a deal stage. Yeah. Well, you know what's amazing is this is like kind of just an update that happened a while back, but a task-based workflow. So like, for example, if you're storing now information about whether or not you did a thing, well, you could have a task-based workflow that says like, hi, I'm a task, I'm related to a deal that has whatever property filled in, auto-complete myself. And that way, like, if somebody does it, at least the task cleans itself up, and then it's not on somebody's list of junk to do. Like, steal that workflow. It's amazing. It like is such a quality of life improvement for people with complex business processes, but may end up going into one deal for one task and doing like 4 things that they were all tasks just so nobody forgets, right?
But
yeah.
So, question for you guys. We've talked about 3 really great new features for HubSpot Commerce Hub, but what's still missing? What do our greedy, sprocket-loving little hearts want more of or less of?
Ooh, Max, I want to know what you want.
I mean, are we rolling quotes into Commerce Hub, or are we keeping that Sales Hub?
It's both.
Yeah, I would say it's both.
Man, we need a much better way to edit those templates.
Oh yeah. Oh.
That is
awful.
It is so stuck in the past. It's terrible. And like, hopefully this is something we'll see with the cash flow team coming on board.
Yeah.
Right. But to me, that is the biggest hindering factor of Commerce Hub is the just horrific experience of editing a quote template.
So here's a question, Max, because we've seen where like email got drag and drop, right? Mm-hmm. And we know landing pages and website pages are when you think about that, when you say that, do you envision, which by the way, I think knowledge bases, they're still working on it last time I checked, but I was on vacation last week. Maybe they fixed it. Like you can migrate knowledge base to a new customizing experience as well. But are you envisioning like quotes eventually having like a drag and drop, or when you say better editing experience, what do you mean?
Yes, but it can't be as free form as the CMS builder. It has to be something more in line with like a PandaDoc, right? Where it's like drag and drop on rails.
Yeah.
Where the end result is you're still building a quote, right? So it's got to have information on it. It's got to have a line item table or line item tables, right? Yeah. And a lot of configuring, but then like, you have full control, like easy control over the background.
Yeah, like if it had multiple line items, you'd be able to filter these line items go in this table, those line items with this property go in that table, right?
And like
something like that.
And we can do that with Quote Happily, but it's because we built an insane amount of quote modules that are still a nightmare to put onto the quote itself, right? Because for anyone who doesn't know, is like a lot of like the stuff about like coding stuff in HubSpot CMS, you throw a lot of that knowledge out the window when you go into quote templates. Like it's bad.
So
right?
It's its own animal.
Unified experience. So it's almost, I hear you saying it needs to be a little bit of a unified experience with the rest of what dev deals with.
What I'm saying is HubSpot needs to get really, really serious about document generation.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right. That's the next step here, because quotes also lead into contracts, which lead into this, that, the other thing, right? It's all related. They need to take a big swing at PandaDoc, right?
Yeah.
And cash flow had tech to do that, right? Like it's gonna have. They are going to go into contracts, because I remember doing the Monday morning briefing and them showing screenshots of some stuff, and I saw contracts as an object somewhere. Yeah. I saw a thing, right? And
I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that thing.
It was public. It's public. They put it up publicly. They put it up publicly, right? They haven't said anything about it, but someone accidentally leaked a screenshot, just like they did with like the navigation.
Whoopsie.
I mean, broke that on the show. Like, you know what I mean? It's there. I hope that's what they're doing, right? They're getting real serious about payments, but the next natural step is to get real serious about the document generation, because that still can like really screw up an experience when it's like, oh yeah, you're going to build your quote through here, but then when you got to go generate the content, we got to go to PandaDocs. Oh, why are we using PandaDocs for our quotes? Or why are we using DocuSign for our quotes? Why are we using? And then it muddies the water, right?
Yeah. I just finished building a crazy like contract generation integration with the platform, and it's like, man, I've never been so lawyered in my whole life. Like, it's insane. I've never lawyered up like so much, and it's like, that is a world of its own, and it's all like Word docs and junk, and you also need to support like third-party contracts, because a lot of times, redlining, they're not going to want to sign your contract. They're going to want to sometimes make you sign their contract, through their system because reasons. So there's like so much to consider when it comes to that. Yeah. Like mind-blowing amount of dynamicy that needs to be involved, because what you sold also needs to feed into the generation of your desired contract template.
Correct.
And so like you need to have a good document that comes out of your quote, and then all those data points need to be able to turn into something more legally binding than we just flipped the little signature bop on the contract or on like a quote, right?
Yeah.
I approve the quote. That's all that means to anybody. It's not in law. Like there's no legal weight.
And also, let me be clear. I have faith. I think if any company out there can build a killer doc gen tool that kind of like disrupts the industry, it's HubSpot.
I'd love to see
end to end. Yeah. Like that's amazing having it end to end. That's the beauty of it. you know, because otherwise you're not making you have to make an integration, right?
Yeah. Can I go totally not nerdy for mine?
Yeah.
I was, I don't know how many times I said I was on vacation last week, but if you hadn't heard yet, I was on vacation last week.
Wait, where were you?
And I was trying to get some sun on some beach somewhere. And I was trying to go into my mobile app. I wanted to just manage some invoices that had came through while I was on vacation. And you know what you can't do on the mobile app?
Yeah, none of that.
You can't get to none of that. You can't get to invoices. You can't like close them. You can't say it was paid by ACH or, you know, if
it's like about sales and marketing is about all you can do in there.
Like
CRM
so,
objects.
So I want to see Commerce Hub inside of my mobile device because then if I'm like using that on my phone or my iPad, then I can, and as a business owner, have to like impact some of those things. Or those things are impacting me where I'm at away from my desk. I actually don't feel like I'm handcuffed. Because I literally was like, okay, so now what do I have to do? I got to go back on the ship and I got to go plug in my laptop, you know, fire it up and freaking, I don't know. I want to do work right where I'm at. And the reason I'm saying this is because they've done a massive job of actually bringing marketing into the app, because it just used to kind of be like a sales app that you could put on your phone. Now it is literally a sales and marketing app that you can have.
Well, they need support in there too, though. Like that's one of like Help Desk is so good on desktop, but you're ball and chain to your desk. Like if you want to step away to go grab a cheese boogie or something, like, you know, you're toast, right?
I don't know about a cheese boogie, but I'll take a cheeseburger. I'd eat one of those. I wouldn't eat the prior one. But here's what I'll say, and I think this is really important for HubSpot to hear. Like, there should be a good iPad version of the app. There should be a good phone version of the app. They can be one and the same if we're smart. But we're with AI. Okay, I'm throwing it out there. That's not what the show's about. We are going to be living in a completely different world where you won't necessarily need to be or want to be chained down to an office or a desk or what we've called for years, you know, a computer. And so hopefully HubSpot can get us app-wise into a place where we can do business anywhere, anytime. And I think Commerce Hub in the app for this episode is my choice of things that I wish would be happening down the line.
I think for me, it's just being able to edit partially paid invoices. Like, please just allow us to do that. That'd be great. Or at minimum, like custom properties can be edited even if an invoice is partially paid. Thanks. That's all I want for Christmas. Thanks.
That's like a pretty simple Christmas list.
I mean, it is, but it's been like 2 years that's been on my Christmas list. So, you know, you can put custom properties on invoices now, but once the invoice is partially paid, even if those custom properties are calculated, they stay at what they were at the time that it got partially paid. Even if the data is updated in the object data table itself, it does not re-render the like little web page thingy that the invoice is hosted on. Feels bad, man. Yeah.
Why can't we be happy?
Like brutal.
Any other wish list items, folks? You guys aren't asking for much.
No. Not a ton.
I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that it would actually need past that.
I mean, my first response to the question was going to be like, I don't know if I need anything. Like how I use it.
Yeah.
Right. How I use it.
It's suitable for you.
Yeah. Other than the mobile app gripe that I have, like, I don't know if I need anything else. And those that did need a lot, Chad just freaking kind of knocked it out the park with like, hey, for those of you couldn't, now you can.
Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're very, 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 very close to like truly everything. I mean, we don't have the end to end, you know, if you're doing bigger products and contracting and stuff, but we're really, really close.
I mean, maybe so maybe some of the, like, I guess, I don't know if I'm begging for this yet, but maybe the next horizon they should explore, right, is some of the more like complicated, you know, payment structure. Is it or subscription types I can't remember, that Stripe does.
Yeah,
right?
like usage-based subscriptions would be amazing. How cool would that be?
Graduated pricing, tiered pricing, package pricing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. All things that are pretty easy to do with another app. But like this is stuff that should be built in and natively supported by HubSpot payments. Right. So we'll get there.
Yeah. Don't beg for it too fast.
Yeah.
Well, George, take us home. Land the plane. What's the one thing you want us to walk away with from today's conversation? Between 1 and 17 things.
I feel like it should be Chad's one thing that he wants people to walk away
Chad,
with.
do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say like the future is here, and if you have a complex need, I mean, you can start exploring, just get your Postman out, start testing some API calls, start making some, objects, start creating some custom properties. The future's here. You can really start to see where the limitations are. And the Commerce Hub team absolutely loves feedback and making sure that they're going to account for everybody's needs. So don't be afraid to reach out to people on LinkedIn from Commerce Hub. They'd love to hear what issues you're running into to make sure that they add the number of people who want the thing that they can't do, especially like partially paid invoices need editable functionality. Let's hit them up with that. Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, that's it. Like the future's here and start testing it. Give it a whirl. There is still there's still a lot to do, but so much more is possible than it was before.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Chad. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, if you had given Commerce Hub a shot previously and was like, not yet, I would say to you, maybe now's the time.
Yeah.
Okay, Hub Heroes, we've reached the end of another episode. Will Lord Lack continue to loom over the community, or will we be able to defeat him in the next episode of the Hub Heroes Podcast? Make sure you tune in and find out in the next episode. Make sure you head over to thehubheroes.com to get the latest episodes and become part of the League of Heroes. FYI, if you're part of the League of Heroes, you'll get the show notes right in your inbox, and they come with some hidden power-up potential as well. Make sure you share this podcast with a friend, leave a review if you like what you're listening to, and use the hashtag HubHeroes Podcast on any of the socials and let us know what strategy conversation you'd like to listen into next. Until next time, when we meet and combine our forces, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble human, and of course, always be looking for a way to be someone's hero.